Hey everyone, this is part 2 of Operation Water Spray. As you saw in the last video, everything in the boot is all done. It's all good. In the last video, we had a little bit of a problem with the pumps. They were both leaking, so they are now fixed. What I did, I pulled them apart, and you can see a little bit of orange down there, a little bit of silicone that's been used to seal them up. So they work fine. I've tested them, and that's all okay. And I've tidied up the wiring a bit. There's a bit of nasty wiring there, but I'm always fiddling with it, so it can never be super tidy. And there's the Haltech up there. It's an Elite 1500. And as we saw last time, there's the water bottle. I'm not sure how much I need to fill it up with yet every track day, but I'll figure that out. Obviously, the less water I have in there, the better, because it won't weigh as much. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to show you what I've done with the Haltech. So it's all connected up to the Haltech now. Let me just get out of this car. I'm getting a bit too old for this stuff. So what we'll do, we'll just turn the ignition on so we can power up the Haltech. Alright, so that's turned on. You can hear everything sort of starting up. There's a light on the Haltech. Now let's have a look at the laptop. Okay, so here we are. So this is the diagnostic screen. You can see down here that the ECU is connected. So what we're going to do, we're going to check, I'll show you the settings. So if we go to setup at the top here, go to main setup, and I'm not sure why this is red. I have fully tested this and it all works perfectly, and it doesn't tell me what's wrong with my settings, and I really don't understand why that's red. So if anybody who knows about these Haltechs can explain this to me, that would be really good. So okay, so the main settings are there's 3 tabs here: wiring, spray and fan. So under wiring, there's a couple of settings here. Let me just go in a bit closer. So here's a couple of options here for conditionally triggered. So I've got it so it's always armed. So basically that means I don't have a switch to turn it on or anything like that. It's got a couple of conditions that it needs to meet before it will turn on, and I'll show you those in a moment. And so there's no manual spray switch, there's no spray indicator, which would be a light on the dash. I don't really care. And the fan is enabled as well. And there's 2 different connectors, one for the spray, which is the 2 pumps, and one for the fan. And they are active on low. So the Haltech has the ability to, you can have it either high or low. So when it's off, it's at high. So when it's activated, it's low. So it pulls it down to ground. So let's look at the spray tab now. Okay, so these are all the conditions that need to be met before the spray will come on. So there's minimum load, so I've got that set to 15 psi, so any boost higher than 15 psi will enable it. So all of these things have to be met, by the way, it's not just one of them. Minimum throttle position, I've got that set to 80. I don't want it to be on all the time because it will spray water, and especially if I'm cruising around or cooling down the engine after a fast lap. I don't want to be spraying water all over the track because the other drivers will get a bit upset with me because it makes it slippery. Anyway. Minimum RPM 4000 RPM, minimum coolant temperature 60. I know that's a bit low, but it is a minimum. I'm not going to be, beating all these other conditions with it lower than 60 anyway, because I always warm it up properly. And minimum air temperature. So I've set this to 51, and this is 1 degree higher than the fan. So I want the fan to come on before the spray starts. I never want the spray to be happening before the fan comes on, because then the spray won't disperse it as much and it might dribble and make a bit of mess on the track. And once again, the other drivers will get upset with me. So fan switch, hey, come on. Trying hard to focus there. Anyway, so the fan settings are the air temperature on at 50 and it turns off at 40. So it needs to have some hysteresis, which means that if I had it both set to 50, the Haltech won't let me do this anyway, but if they were both set to 50, it wouldn't know when to turn on and turn off, and you might get a condition where it's turning on and off really fast, and it will kill the motor in the fan and probably the relay as well. So I've set them 10 degrees apart, and the reason why I've set that so far apart is that when I'm on a cool down lap, I do want the fans to still be running just to get a bit of heat soak out of the system. So it'll take a while, on a hot day it'll take a while for the air temperature to get back below 40, but it gives enough to get some heat out of the system. And that's pretty much it. So I've already tested it here in the garage by changing these settings to much lower settings, so it meets the criteria for all of these, and I can get the fan to turn on, and I can also get the spray to turn on, so it all works. Even though I've got that big red thing there that says there's a problem, and nothing I can do will change that. I'm not sure why every one of these tabs, it doesn't say there's an error, and I'm not really sure what's going on there. Hopefully it's a bug in the Haltech laptop software. So yeah, that's it, guys. I've finished the water spray, so next thing I need to do is wait for COVID-19 lockdown to finish, and then I can get the car back out on the track, and hopefully I can get some better lap times. Oh, and one last thing, assuming all of this works well and I can reduce my air intake temps significantly, I can turn the boost back up. So it has been tuned to 27 psi. I have been turning it down because I've just been driving it, through the summer months, and it gets pretty hot. So last event I did at 24. Hopefully, if the air intake temps are very low, I can turn it back up to 27 and get that extra power, and hopefully get those lap times to come down. All right, that's it, guys. I'll see you later.